What's going on, guys? This is Frank Hatzis, and you're in Rope Dart School. All right, what's going on, Dartis? We have an amazing personal friend of mine that we're going to be speaking to. And when I say personal friend, he's like a brother to me. This Dartis was born in Mexico, Baja California. He has that unmistakable rocket power flow every time he rope darts. He is a Rope Dart Academy instructor, and he was our first official RDA sponsee going back years and years ago. I've slept on this man's floor and his couches so many times I've lost count. He is one of the best instructors I know, sincerely, one of the better ones I know, or one of the best I know. And he will be teaching at Dart Arts this year, October 2025. And he is the one, the only Chino Ortega.
Hello, what's up, everybody? Um, Happy to be here. And it was unexpected, so I'm stoked about it. Um, yeah.
Unexpected. I mean, I would think a lot of people would want to hear from you. You've been so influential in the rope dart world for so many years now, and you have an unmistakable style that you not only honed in yourself, but you've taught to a lot of dartists out there on the West Coast. I mean, I could think of a few off the top of my head. And I'm hoping that you're going to be bringing some of that rocket power flow tech, and I'm sure you are, to Dart Arts this coming October. But I do want to start with a question that I start with everyone, just to get to know the person I'm speaking with as the rope dartist that they are. What got you into rope dart?
Okay. So what got me into rope darting was I was at an underground techno show in downtown LA when I used to go to like warehouse shows, and somebody literally started spitting fire in the middle of the crowd, and have never seen this before, and it was rope dart. And I saw it and I ran to it and I was like, what is this? And it reminded me of a video game called God of War, where this character has two blades on their hands with chains and they swings them around on fire. And I was like, whoa, I want to do that. So from that day, it impacted me, and I went like a month without knowing anything about it. And then this person that I saw, which his name is Flo Mamba, Andres, this person that I saw spinning fire appeared, like I was on my way to work and a picture of him came up, and I hit him up on Facebook and I went to his house. He gave me a rope dart, tennis ball with pennies on a rope. And I ran with that for like a year until I ripped it and just in South Central rope darting by myself, not knowing anything about this thing that I fell in love with and connected with this like instantly.
For sure. And so it was Andreas was the first person that really got you into rope dart. And, you know, for everyone listening, as Chino pointed out, that is Flo Mamba. And man, this guy's been spreading the rope dart, teaching the rope dart, making rope dart babies like Chino for a long time now. And it's I didn't realize that was, I knew you learned from him in the beginning, like a first couple of lessons. I was aware that you learned from him, but I did not know that it was he in that club on that magical evening that really
Yeah,
inspired you to start darting.
I literally went to his house one time and he taught me an elbow shot and a neck wrap. That's it. And then I went home and I was just started rope darting every single day, literally for a year straight. I didn't watch any videos. I was just moving with this rope dart with this like the only three moves that I learned from him for like a year. And then I started watching things and I met you, came across my life, and you were in my house and I took your rope dart 101 to 106, and I learned that I was doing things that had names that I had no idea because I was just moving with it and I just fell in love with it, you know? And,
For real.
yeah, so and I still love it.
Right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I noticed, I'm sure a lot of people notice you've been popping up on our feeds again, gracing us with your rope dart prowess. So we all want to keep that going.
Yeah, I feel like I just took a little break for myself for like self-growth stuff, and I'm reconnecting with the things I love again, and rope dart being one of the main things that I love because I just love the way it makes me feel when I throw it around. And thanks to Aaron Stanger, that's how you say it. He's been inspiring me and motivating me with tutorials and like these new movements that feel really good and it's sparking ideas and like pathways. And I'm just like, I miss this. So
Oh,
I'm happy to be sharing again.
yeah. Well, we're happy to be seeing it. And do you plan on hitting up any festivals this year at all?
No, actually, the only main goal is Dart Arts this year. Taking a break from Burning Man and other stuff, just focusing on health and getting better shape and rope darting more and setting goals. And one of them is Dart Arts and visiting New York for the first time. I've never been there. So excited to go to your house and spend some time with you and your family and
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You mentioned positive changes, and I must say that you look like someone who's made a lot of positive. You could see it like all over you. It's radiating out from you. Can you tell
Thank
us a
you.
little bit? Yeah, it's easy to say. Can you tell us a little bit about some of these changes you're going through, if you feel comfortable, and how you're feeling, and just what's going on with your mental, physical, spiritual clarity and emotions now?
I'm just working on like sticking to things that I tell myself that I'm gonna do. It's just and it could be the smallest things. So I'm working on like just being building better habits, and realizing my bad habits on I feel like that's been holding me back and just learning more about like setting goals and stuff like that because the way I was brought up, I didn't know anything about these things, Hispanic and raised in East LA with like we got evicted from a house and stuff like that. So it was just like more, it was always like I've been independent since I can remember, so been hustling and surviving and I'm in my 20s when I started learning about saving and setting goals and, just simple things in life that I had to learn on my own because I was always on that stay alive kind of thing. Not that I was like, oh, super, like going through it, but it's just like it was a struggle, so I feel like I'm in the best place that I've been in my entire life with my living situation and oh, something's playing. Hold on. Oh, no, sorry. Never mind. Um, yeah, I've been working on just making better decisions and following through the things that I tell myself that I'm gonna do. And
Yeah.
it's hard, but I just focus on the smallest things and that, the smallest things that I come across, if that makes
Well,
sense.
yeah, it does because the inches make the mile. So everything I focus on is always going to be the smaller things because it's always going to be the smaller things that make up the bigger things. And it's kind of a sad state of affairs. I mean, this is going to be on YouTube, so it has a worldwide audience. But for any international dartist or anybody listening, the American school system kind of sucks, and they don't really teach the skills that Chino was just mentioning. I mean, I didn't really learn that stuff either. And you're finding seems to be a large generation of folks that are waking up a little bit and questioning what they had learned going through school, realizing that a lot of it was nonsense. And when you look at things like setting goals, personal development, having, keeping a good bank account, basic things, it was just glossed over. You might have learned some of these things, but not really. We weren't really sat down and taught them. So it's good that you're on this mission. You're reading any books or listening to anybody in particular that's helping you along the way?
I haven't, you know what, I've never really read and I want to get into it, but I have been listening to like podcasts and I also listen to like audiobooks. I try, to focus, but I like my ADHD is like all over the place. But I'm trying to also like be more like slow down because I'm a very like I do things fast. So I've been trying to like take a breather and step back and slow down in the things that I do because I easily forget things or something, like as I'm moving, my mind is always moving forward, So I'm trying to take it more in, if that makes sense. But
It does.
also,
Oh, go ahead.
what I do want to say is rope dart helped me a lot with my journey to like the things that I'm talking about. Like I
Mm,
feel like if it wasn't for floor arts and like floor arts, especially rope dart, I don't know where I would be right now. Like rope dart has been a part of my life for more than 8 years now, and it helped me grow a lot as a person for myself and for others around me.
for sure. And again, as someone who's pretty much known you for, I would say, most of that time, not maybe all 8 years, but maybe close to it, the change is obvious in you. The way you look, everything, you actually just look so much more healthy or more healthy than you've ever looked in your life.
I
Uh,
feel
yeah, great outlook. It's just, it is, as somebody that cares about you, it's wonderful to see.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just keep it going. It seems like you're in a good place. I know, your partner, Yuri, personally, you have a great partner in your life. It seems like she supports the heck out of you. And I'm sure that's a two-way street. So, you're on your way.
Yeah, she's great. I've learned a lot from her, so I'm grateful.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, one thing, just to shift gears a little slightly that you've done that I can honestly admit I absolutely don't have the guts to ever do was go skydiving. And yeah, man, yeah. So
That's
I don't,
funny. That's funny you want to finish what you're saying?
I want to hear what you have to say about that because, it seems like something that is kind of your speed for sure, and you and I kind of go through life at similar speeds. We're kind of fast. We do things fast. We think fast. All these things. So I'm just curious why I'm so terrified of doing something like skydiving, and someone like you would just embrace it.
So it's funny. I've never flown anywhere in my life on there. Never been on an airplane in my life. And um, my homie my friend, the reason why I found floor arts, he's the one that was taking me to these underground shows. He found some Groupon tickets for oceanside skydiving and like near San Diego. And I've never been on a plane. I was like, I've always wanted to skydive on my bucket list. And I said, let's go. And we went. And my first time on an airplane was taking off and jumping off of it. And
So,
it was great. I loved it so much. I would do it again. And like it was so funny because when I was there, everybody thought that I was like an experienced skydiver. They were looking at me like, you look familiar. Like, do I know you? I was like, no, it's like literally never done this before. So it was a good experience. I would do
yeah.
it again. I would do it again.
Wow. Okay. It's the kind of thing where I would want to experience it, but I want to also be able to just snap my fingers and be out of it. If I was like, this is just too much for me, I can't, like just experience it for like 5-ish seconds and be like, you know what, I don't want to be here and just be out.
You know what is I would say is like the more scary part is being on the edge of the airplane and jumping off. But once you jump off and you're flying, it's amazing.
Right.
You see everything from high up and you're just like, wow, you
And if
know.
I've jumped off of, so I've done, cliff diving before. I didn't dive, I just jumped in, but cliff jumping, and I've been off of high diving boards. And you have that feeling like, your body's still up here, but you dropped down.
Yeah.
Do you just feel that the entire time? Or does it regulate itself at some point?
You feel that when you first jump off, because when you first jump off and do like a backflip to level yourself out. And that's when you feel it. But once you're leveled out, everything levels out and you're like, whoa, you're able to take it in. Especially when they will open the parachute. Now you're floating.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Wow.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's I would recommend it to like everybody to try skydiving. At least once. At least once.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do it, but if it ever happens, I'll be thinking of you. And just to touch on something we said earlier, I have a habit of moving very fast too. It's actually one of the only things that Sarah and I, well, we're different in a lot of ways, but she really takes her time with things. and I'm always all over the place. I go fast, whatever it is. And so what I started, because it's not good on my, I wish she could speed up a little bit. I wish I could slow down a little bit. So what I started doing is things that don't matter, like walking from my bedroom to the bathroom and brushing my teeth. I go deliberately slow, almost like I'm walking in water. And I'm practicing for moving through life at a more intentional pace, because I've speaking for myself, I miss so many big things because I move so fast. It's just something I'm suggesting that anybody who moves fast tries.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because I feel like I've maybe unintentionally been doing that. I'm not aware, but I've like certain things like what you said that don't matter, like the smallest things. I'm like, I I know that catch myself doing it slower than I would normally do it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that practice will become a habit, and it'll just, maybe get us to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like when I'm looking for something, it could be right in front of me. But since I'm moving fast trying to find it, I miss it.
Dude, my brother, the same. Listen, if you spoke to Sarah, the amount of times a day something is right in front of my face and I do not see it. It's like I understand refrigerator blindness, and I understand that apparently, supposedly, men have refrigerator blindness way worse than women, but I have it way worse than the average man. I do not see things right in front of my darn face. I really don't. It's because I'm just going.
Same,
So
same,
we
same.
got to
I
slow
feel it.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta slow down. That's why
You
I
know,
like rope. That's why I like rope dart because I can move fast with it when I want to.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. It's
You know?
something it keeps up on the outside with me, the things that are going on the inside, and
Yeah.
that's my. It's like, merging perfectly onto a highway.
Yeah, it's like it matches your energy, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah, really. Do we got
yeah,
that puppy energy, man? It's true. We
yeah,
got like excited puppy energy,
yeah.
which
I'm
is
kidding.
fine. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And there's another activity that we both also engaged in, and this is before we knew each other, but I think also helps with that, more energetic approach to life, is we both skateboarded.
Oh
But
yeah,
oh yeah.
I
But
was
see,
big skater before
yeah,
floor
me too.
arts.
Oh yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
it's
Yeah.
rope dart, dude. I stopped skateboarding to rope dart. Like
I stopped skateboarding because I was like, all right, I'm getting kind of old for this, but that wasn't true at the time, and it's still not true now. I could be skateboarding right now. I didn't know.
X.
No,
Yeah,
we're
I
so
feel
sick.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were good though. Like, I was decent too. I could do all the tricks. I went to skate parks and whatnot. But I've seen old footage of you skating. It's like, yo, Chino has chops on a skateboard. Like,
Yeah, I feel like my entire life I've always had an outlet for my like um high energy. You know, if I always had something, if really when I was a kid, I was a big imagination playing with toys. Like if I was a kid, I was actually playing with my action figure toys and stuff. Like I loved it, you know. And then skateboarding came, and then I was like, super focused on skateboarding. Like this was
for
like my
sure.
thing. That was my thing. Like like my brother got me into it. Then he got into gangs, whatever. I stuck with it. Like like, oh, I like this. Like I will skate all day. Like.
Yeah. Oh, for
And
sure.
whenever I got the chance, so and
Yeah.
that happened with rope dart. Like as soon as I will get off work, I will grab my skateboard, go to the skate park, and rope dart. Like,
Amazing.
yes, I love this so much. I love it so much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity years ago. My stepdaughter brought home a skateboard, and it was fun because I got to just kind of like hold her hand, and as she rode it up and down our block and everything like that. And it was just a nice, you know, uh, not that I passed on any kind of a torch to her, because while I skated, I was good. I could do like flip tricks and whatnot, but what's different about the East Coast from the West Coast is you guys just have skate parks everywhere.
Yeah, there's actually a skate park down the street from my house.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now in New York City, now there are free skate parks in regular city parks, but that wasn't the case when I was skateboarding. It was very underground. People would yell at you. We were busy, using sex wax to wax up curbs and rails
Yeah.
and mini malls and ollie downstairs, and people would come out of their stores and yell at you for skating. Skateboarding was this thing that was not accepted back in, I'm going back a long time now, but back in the 80s and 90s when I was doing it the most, and the early 2000s, I was doing it a lot. Skateboarding wasn't really accepted like it is today.
I
It's
feel like during that time there was a lot like street skateboarding, you know. I
right.
don't feel there wasn't as many skate parks as there is now because you have Street League that started building all these skate parks around LA. Why? Because they want to try to keep kids out of trouble, you know. It's just like it's in the hood,
But
it's just like
yeah,
and
but
it's
that
good.
that works.
Yeah,
That
the way it
works.
works. I'm saying, but back then, like during your time when you were skateboarding, that we didn't have that. Like there wasn't that. You know, it was just skateboarding was looked at as a criminal thing. I don't
Right.
know. You know,
Well,
like
if you don't give kids and youth something to do, they're going to find something to do. And when you're that age and your prefrontal cortex hasn't developed yet, and you think you can, you don't think about other people, you're basically a sociopath. It's like the things you're going to get into tend to be more on the dangerous side of things or the negative side of things. And to build, hey, look, you know what? Speaking of LA, what is it? It was either the Bloods or the Crips
both.
gang, one of them, I don't know which one, came about because it was like this white baseball league in LA and they wouldn't let the black kids join it. Or so then they made their own baseball. It was something like that. But the point, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm, some all knowledgeable person on gangs. I'm certainly not. But anybody could Google it. Just find out. You would be shocked as to how one of the most dangerous gangs the world has ever seen or America has ever seen came about because they weren't letting these little black kids who just wanted to go play baseball. That was it. They wouldn't let them play
Yeah,
baseball. It's like, come on, guys, this is ridiculous now.
that's crazy because I mean, I tried it. I tried the dangerous stuff and I didn't like it. You know, so
Right.
I stuck to skateboarding. I'm like, I'm just do skateboarding.
Yeah. Well, the
Like,
dangerous stuff definitely gives you a rush. And, in my teen years, I wasn't so innocent. And, kids I hung out with did stuff. Kids I hung out with did things like steal cop cars and then crash
yeah,
them. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, it's not good.
yeah, not good, not good. But I mean, the thing is that, my thing is like, all right, stealing a cop car is one thing, but then you all crashed it and got arrested for it because you crashed the cop. You know what I mean? It's like you could have taken it for a joyride and then,
Yeah,
dumped it somewhere.
they want to take it to the next level. That's why. So
Right.
what they
Well,
got something to prove. I don't know.
right. But that was the
Mhm.
kind of crazy shit the kids I hung out with would do. And,
Yeah,
had we had skate parks, and I was skateboarding, but again, we were probably considered more of a nuisance in the neighborhoods and whatnot because we were just skating wherever the hell we wanted.
yeah,
So,
but
you know, you're a creative guy, going into all these different things that you do other than rope dart. And one thing, only because we have a few of your pieces here at Dart House, one of the things you do really well is you have for me, it's a very unique style of art that you've created over the years. What
yeah,
got you? How did you come up with this, and what got you into what you do?
it was. I started doing it around the time that was kind of discovering flow arts. I started playing around with my phone. I was like, while on Instagram, I would see other people posting these like photo collages, you know, and I was like, "Oh, I like this." So I started just downloading the app on my phone and started playing around, and then one thing led to another, and I it was an outlet for me as well. So um I started just like grabbing 10 different photos and cropping them and putting them together to make one picture. It's something like, and I never would know what's on the other side. It was always just like doesn't matter what I make, just create, you know? And I've had some where I cried and it was like, wow, like I can't believe I couldn't even remember how I got there, you know, it's just like because I'm just letting go. And I feel like that with rope dart, I was doing both of them. I would sit in my living room, do some art, and then I would spend like an hour rope darting and then like back and forth. Um, so I don't know, it's just something that I fell in love with as well. And I felt like it was making people happy. And I would get a lot of messages on Facebook and stuff to like people were thanking me for posting and sharing my art because it's helped them for whatever they were going through or whatever. Um, but I've
Well,
always just done it because it made me feel good. It
well,
felt good
that's
to
good.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and that good feeling that you have radiates out to everyone else. So, I'm not surprised. We have one of your pieces is in our hallway here, and the other piece is in our studio where we sew and make rope darts. So,
Awesome.
yeah. And
I'm
we
so happy.
also, yeah, we also have on the wall not only that, but a folding fan that Emily Tsai gave me at Faubourn a couple of years back.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So we got some West Coast homie representation coming in hard in our
Yeah.
rope dart studio.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to see it in person.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're so looking forward to having you and Yuri.
Yes, I'm so stoked.
Yeah. Now, with that art, is that because I've personally never seen anyone have artwork that looked like that. Is that a unique style that you came up with, or were you
No, you
inspired by?
there's multiple people that do photo collages, and there's like landscape, or there's like how I've done like a lot of people, like selfies of people. I got a lot of requests for that, and it's kind of like for a moment, it's like kind of like psychedelic-y. People will ask me for like psychedelic selfies and stuff like that. So like how you would see yourself if you hit a DNT pen or something in the mirror and like stuff like that, kind of
Yeah,
like trying to project that feeling on, when you look at the picture. But then I started getting into landscaping, like nature, because there's people I follow on Instagram that have a certain style, and I started liking like retro colors, kind of um with outer space and like big Jupiter with mountains and water, like just different things. And I also like grabbing like the smallest thing and making it with putting a big moon behind it. So like the contrast between a small thing and a big thing is kind of like impacts you when you look at it. It makes you feel small when you look at the picture. And I've always like the always gone with what it makes me feel like.
yeah.
And then
Well, oh, go ahead.
no, no, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say they definitely have your art has a psychedelic feel to them, but I wouldn't call it psychedelic. I wouldn't brand it that. There's something, and I'm going somewhere with this, just as a like a juxtaposition. There's something very tranquil. There's a tranquility that I feel when I look at your artwork. Everything is smooth. Everything looks, intentionally placed, even if it's haphazard and chaotic, maybe in the beginning, and it perhaps gets moved around. But are you deliberately trying to evoke feelings of peace, tranquility, like that when you make these
So
pieces?
it's good that you say that, because for like when I started my art, it was more on the psychedelic side, because it was just at the moment, like the time in my life where I was at in that moment, psychedelics. Um, but then I started shifting towards what you're saying, like tranquility. There's a lot of pieces that I would like, just that was a caption, like calm or peace, or you know um there is a piece that I call Tranquility, I believe, and it's the mountains, and there's like a little yacht, no, like a little boat, and there's people on there looking at the mountain. There's the Jupiter, and it made me feel, the colors made me feel super calm, and I just like tranquility,
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe not intentionally, but I was doing that.
Okay.
That was my message. Like I was trying to make everybody just feel like take a moment and relax and take a breath, like take a step back and just relax your mind, let go.
Yeah. You and I both need to take that advice, don't we?
Yeah. And that's funny that I was doing it in my art, because maybe that's, like you say, that we need. And I was just projecting that without knowing. So
Yeah, for sure. Now, coming back to the rope dart, you're also probably one of the best meteor dartists I've ever seen.
oh,
And
thank you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, most folks would agree with it. As a matter of fact, I think perhaps one of your first viral videos was a meteor dart video,
Yeah, it was.
if I remember that correctly.
Uh,
And hell of a video, I'll tell you that much. I mean, it's mesmerizing. Now, I'm not much of a meteor dart stylist at all, because I find that the transition or the jump from one to the other isn't as seamless or as easy as one might think. And I feel a huge reason for that is because you kind of have to know, you know, two poi, one hand tech to really get the full scope of a meteor dart. Would you agree with that?
I would 100% agree with that because I love rope dart and I also love poi and contact staff. So I like to spin multiple props, but my main one is rope dart, then meteor dart, and then poi,
Yeah.
which those three translate to each other. And then contact staff also translates to rope dart and to poi, like the same movements, you know? So I explored with those three. And I always try to tell people, like, you want to spend meteor dart, spend a good amount of time practicing one hand point movements with two poi. It will just make you understand the movements and the pathways and the possibilities. And then when you move it to rope dart, it's everything is on a swivel. So you actually have way more freedom of more patterns, more pathways because you're not limiting to the way you hold poi in your hand, you know?
Right.
Um, but I practice poi and practice rope dart, you know, and then bring it to meteor dart. And it's just you get to a point where you understand that there's a certain beat when you're isolating that you always want to find and keep, and once you find it, it's forever there. Like you know when you if you project the isolation, when you pull it back, you're gonna pull it back on that beat. They're gonna keep the head separated, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
and it's just literally my number one recommend like that I tell people to practice is just isolate and do it slow. Because if you can't do it slow, you can't do it fast. And everybody wants to do it fast. Nobody slow down.
And if I could add, just as somebody that has played with a meteor dart before, when you get that split time isolation, you feel like $1 million.
It
And
feels good because
it
it's energy. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
and
And
then
it's watching it looks cool, but even doing it, it's like watching it as you're doing it looks cool. And it feels like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually getting this thing to, do the split time thing. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, you can just look it up. We are going to be having some meteor dart classes at Dart Arts this year. And I'm sure that I know you're coming to teach rope dart, I'm sure you're probably going to get tapped on the shoulder a lot with some meteor darts. So all somebody has to do is see you with a meteor dart one time, and if they want to get into meteor dart, they're going to be on your tail the entire weekend. So just get ready for that one.
oh, I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah.
Like I want people to spin meteor dart and it's a dangerous prop, especially when it's on fire, especially if you spin four lotus heads, you know, like that's big fire and it could really hurt you. So
Oh, yeah.
just spending time without fire and understanding the prop and respecting it and just knowing how, you know, like that it could hurt you. Like the approach, just don't like I don't know. I every time before I spin meteor dart on fire, I have butterflies in my stomach and I'm like nervous about it. And then it's just like have to convince myself, you know, just like, but it's just a personal thing, and I feel like that's good that I allow myself to feel those emotions because I'm just being alert and making sure that it's for me. You know, it's
Definitely.
like number one thing is just like I want to make sure it feels good to me before I go in that fire circle with the meteor dart. It has to feel right. And there's been times
Excellent.
that I dipped it and then it didn't feel right and I don't go in the fire circle. You know, it's
Oh,
just like,
wow.
yeah, but just like that's a personal thing, you know, that's the way I approach it.
That's really good that you're that responsible because, while we have a great time spinning fire with our friends, with dancing all night, at the end of, I forget too sometimes that this can burn you badly. It could end your life. There's so many things that could happen. And, we're safe. We know the protocol and things of that nature. But uh, yeah, sometimes if a little angel whispers in my ear, you know what, sit this one out, maybe that's the move, especially with
Mhm.
fire.
Oh yeah, especially with meteor dart.
Yeah, well, because
Because
it is. It's so unpredictable, and it's crazy because somebody first learning the rope dart would look at a rope dart as this totally unpredictable thing, and for a beginner, it is. And over time, someone of your skill level, it's not unpredictable. You know exactly what's going on. You can watch somebody, and you'll be able to tell what they're going to do next, just based on the amount of experience that you have. And I'm sure that with that experience being in mind, the meteor dart is something that is way less unpredictable for you as it would be for me. And I guess my question is, are you at a place with a meteor dart, or is it even possible to achieve a place with the meteor dart where there's no more unpredictability? It's like when I go rope dart, it's predictable. I know exactly what's going to happen. Are you there with a meteor dart? Can you even get there? What's, how is that scale? What does that look like?
I've I explore a lot with Meteor Dart, and I've transferred a lot of things from Poi to Meteor Dart, and which is like the tracers and like doing things like that. I feel like it's not. I feel like there's still more to explore with it. Um, and it's just
Right.
like I said, it's like because it's one hand poi on a rope dart on a leash, you know what I mean? So it's like the more you learn with poi itself, and then you transfer it to meteor dart, it's like there's the
Well, but
possibilities are endless.
not
I
to
feel.
interject, right, for sure. And it's like the possibilities are endless with a rope dart too. But it's for me, somebody that's been doing it as long as I have, or for you, it doesn't have a feeling of unpredictability. So I guess I'm trying to think of a better way to ask what I'm asking. I'm fully, I get that the meteor dart has so much more to be explored and discovered. 100% no problem. But is there a point that a person can get to, or maybe you've gotten there, where you understand the predictable nature of it, not how many
Okay. Oh no,
techniques
I
you get it? Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Yeah, I feel like I could predict what when I see somebody going, because I'm so picky, when I see somebody going with a meteor dart, I could instantly tell how much time they put in and what they're gonna do or what their capability is with that meteor dart. Just by the way they initiate, or you know what I mean? Like for myself, my goal for a meteor dart is to keep the head separated at all times.
Got
Because
it. Yeah.
like if I want to spin rope dart, go spin rope dart. If I want, you know what I mean? Like so it's
Right,
like
right.
meteor dart to me is like the heads keep the head separated as long as you can while still doing all these movements that you could be isolations, it could be pendulums, but like keeping the head splits, you know, like you could do a neck wrap and to have the head split as you do a neck wrap, you know, and just keeping that momentum going. Do a knee shot and the heads are split when you do a knee shot. It's like that's my goal.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, I mean, that's what the thing is. It's
Yeah,
the
that's what the
idea that,
thing ex
that's what it is.
exactly, yeah.
A couple of years ago, back at Kinetic Fire Festival, Dark Monk had made what was, I think it was either a three or a four-headed meteor dart. And my only thought was like, how many heads do you need? I mean, does it get to a
I've
point where, because I know you could do three poi one hand, I'm sure four poi one hand. I'm not a poi spinner, and I say that absolutely bragging that I'm not. But
well,
fun
I
guy.
always said pour too many rope darts in your head.
So with something like three or four headed meteor darts, you think that's something you'd be interested in or catch on, or is
Uh
it like that's kind of like, come on, how many do you need?
that does not catch my attention. It's like so much work on your shoulders already, like with two heads. Um, I don't know. I think that's just I don't know. I feel like that's just to have, oh, let me just try this thing once and see what's up with it. I don't think I would be like, oh, let me go buy a three-headed meteor dart and like actually put time into this. I'm happy with two heads.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I see it as like something that we're having fun. Like, this is fun. Like, let's try this.
Oh yeah, and
You
also,
know,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, three heads, four heads. If you're having fun with it, like that's all you go you. For me personally, if I wanted to learn rope dart, I certainly wouldn't start with a meteor dart, and I certainly wouldn't want to start with three or four heads. And I guess, touching on what you said a little bit earlier, I would probably learn the rope dart first, then I'd get some two poi one hand going, and then I'd probably mess around, or I would just have a metric F ton of experience with either just a rope dart or just poi, because I have no experience with poi, and I could certainly use a meteor dart. It doesn't look pretty. It certainly doesn't look like you, but I could do some things with it. And I could keep it moving. You know.
It's funny because like I said, I spent a full year spinning that rope dart, the pennies on the tennis ball.
Mm.
And when I wanted to buy my first fire prop from Dark Monk, I saw the meteor dart and I was like, why not two heads? So I ordered a meteor dart as my first fire prop. After
Really?
yeah. And then I started learning meteor dart with my fire dart, and I spent almost like a whole other year with my meteor dart. without fire. I didn't dip it or anything. And then I actually spun fire my meteor dart for the first time when my grandma passed away from my family. Like that's the first time I spun it, and I have the video on Facebook, and you see where I'm at with like it's still posted, you know.
Yeah.
It's like around 2000, like around 2016, 2017, like around that
Well,
time.
yeah, a long
As
time.
of yeah, that's like, oh, I'm a spin fire. My grandma passed away. Like rest in peace. This is for you. You know, it's my first time.
Well, I mean, what a nice way, tribute for your grandmother, for sure.
Yeah. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. It's like I felt like I've always had like an intention behind my spinning. You know, like if it's for like rope dart and meteor dart, like especially those two, because with meteor dart, I made my finger bleed. Like I was spinning to my finger will bleed, and I would still keep spinning because I was just like, I love it so much.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like rope dart is one thing, but like meteor dart to me spoke to me because of the like it's chaotic, you know, just like but it's also chaotic and you can control that chaos, you know, and you could tell when somebody is able to control that chaos and they're like and you see the person is calm while they're controlling this chaos, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what
that's
you look like. You look like
they,
somebody. No, that you look like somebody who's in total control of what's happening, and you're the conductor of this chaos around you, while you yourself are just at this. Again, the word tranquil is coming to my mind, and just this peaceful kind of aura that you present when you're not happy. Like for me, a meteor dart is a somewhat haphazard tool to spin, and you do not look haphazard at all when you spin it.
thank you so much. That's like that's my literally my intention, you know, is
Yeah.
make I want to be as calm as I can while I just control this chaos. It's like or it's like what are the people with the
Matadors.
matadors? Yeah, there's like they look confident. They move out the way when the bull comes. That's literally
Yeah.
what you're doing with a meteor dart. When you extend, it's coming back to you. It's like whoop, like hi, it's
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. That's what you're doing is, and I love it.
Heck
So
yeah.
you're always dodgy.
Well,
Yeah.
we're coming up on almost an hour, and before we go, two questions. One is a question that I asked everybody I interview towards the end of the interview, and that is if you can spend one weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, learning the rope dart, geeking out with the rope dart, nerding, whatever, with one person, and it can only be one person, who would that rope dartist be?
That's a super easy answer for me, and that
Really?
would be you, Frank,
What?
because I spend weeks with you, and every time I do, I've gotten better with the rope dart. I've learned so much more the way you look at it and stuff like that. So I would no doubt about it spend a weekend with you.
Okay. I mean, it's obviously an honor to hear that. I learned just as much from you. So it would be, it's kind of like one hand washes the other. They both wash the face. We both get our rope dart. Well, I'm excited for when you and Yuri come out in October for Dart Arts because, as we mentioned, you are going to be staying at Dart House, which I've been freaking out. You could ask Sarah. I've been, I can't do a backflip, but, a darn near tried because you guys are coming and we're just going to nerd the F out. So,
I'm looking forward.
we're both going to get that wish of being able to go to other for way more
Yeah,
than a
and
week.
that was funny because I was driving yesterday and I was telling Yuri, I was like, there's this question to ask you at the end of the, you know, of the conversation, the podcast. And I was like, it's just no doubt about it, it will be Frank.
Wow.
This is
Uh,
like to me that's a personal thing. I'm just like that's who I choose because I spend time with you and it's like no matter if you learn from me you just have way more wisdom than I do with rope dart and I've happened so many times in my own living room where you will watch me rope dart and you'd be like if you move your foot slightly this way that move is going to work out so much better so you help me so much with like my pathways and stuff
oh,
you know.
man. Well, thank you. I mean, for you to say that a rope dartist of your caliber, that's an honor. And I'm definitely going to wear that one as a merit badge for the rest of my life. So thank you very much.
Oh, I mean it with my heart, dude. So
Yeah. The last thing well, again, thank you. And the last thing I wanted to ask you is if you had a message for the rope dart community, either the community now, beginners, any kind of message that you wanted to share, what is that message?
I would say is I always tell people that are starting or they're new to rope dart is to make sure that it always feels good to you. If when you're moving, if no matter what you're doing, if your first time you picked it up and you're moving around exploring, just make sure that it feels good to you. If it feels good to you, it's gonna look amazing to everybody else. And the moment that you doesn't feel good to you, you're pushing, you're trying to prove something. I feel like it just doesn't work out. And it's just me, my goal has always been that it feels good to me, whatever that I'm doing.
That is sage advice. I got to be honest with you. And, every artist that I've asked that question really comes back with something awesome. So, yeah, I would take that. I would take that home. Every artist out there, I don't care how long you've been rope darting. And it's, we've all been out there. I've had practices. Yeah, I go outside, I practice right in front of on the street, which you'll find. And every time I come in, Sarah will look at me and say, good practice. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, it was awesome, blah, blah, blah. I tried this new thing I saw somebody do. And sometimes I walk in and I was like, man, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling
Yeah,
good. And,
yeah.
it's highs and lows and we get through those things. And having great friends like you and that we share so many things in common outside of the rope dart. But what I love the most is the rope dart. That we have each other to support and lean on. And, I think that that's prevalent in the rope dart community, you know.
Yeah, you're saying that it's you come back in and it's you had a hard time rope darting, and it's imagine you have more than a decade spinning rope dart, and it's still hard for you when it doesn't feel good. So I've like tell people that are starting that it's like imagine it's hard for you. So people that are starting, they're intimidated by all these everybody else's talent. So just like I just tell them like just don't focus on what I'm doing, like just make sure it feels good to you, like.
Mhm.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. It's like I don't at the end of the day, it's like it's about you. So it's as long as it feels good to you, especially when you're starting, because that's when it's the hardest. Because then it's easy to just be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna quit. I don't want to do this anymore. You
No,
know?
sure. I tell you, thank you for expanding on that because you're right. I mean, again, more sage wisdom. Take that home, everybody, for real.
So that's my take.
Definitely. Well, your take has been an absolute honor and pleasure to listen to for the past, 55-ish minutes or so. I knew I was going to enjoy this conversation. I didn't know I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. It's you're just a great
Same.
guy. You're a wonderful person. I know I do consider you a brother of another mother. We're rope artists at heart all the time, and I got your back for life, man. I really do.
Love you. I'm just a mirror reflection of you, Frank, because you're amazing as well.
Well,
And I'm so happy you're in my life.
yeah, it's
So
feelings very mutual. All right. Well, for everybody, that is Chino Ortega. Amazing life lessons, as you all heard. Take it all home with you. Keep rope darting. Make sure you make it feel good for you because, as Chino said, if you're feeling it, everybody else is feeling it.
exactly, dude. Exactly.
Until,
And
until
it's so noticeable when you come out if you're especially in the fire circle when you come out of it, it's so noticeable when it was for you and it felt good. Everybody around you like, oh shit, like like you feel the energy.
Yeah, and
That
before we go, just because it's on track with this. Years ago, a friend of mine, Tim Boyce, asked me a question. We were talking about skill level and fire spinning, and he said, "Well, how do you know who the best fire spinner is?" And I thought for a second, I was like, "Well, it's different props and different skill levels and different amount of time put in." And I'm thinking of all of these things, and I said, Tim, I don't know. How do you know who the best fire spinner is? And he said, it's the one with the biggest smile. So,
exactly.
so there it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
So take it all home, darters. We love you all. Peace, love, dart life.
It's a dark life.